Hey everybody, welcome back to Comic Frontline. I am Brant Fowler, aka the Gonzogoose, back with you for another review. More Futures In. This time I am looking at Red Hood and the Outlaws Futures In #1. This is written by Scott Lobdell with art by Scott Collins and cover by Giuseppe Camicoli, Cam Smith, and Mike Attia, if I'm pronouncing any of those correctly. Okay, so as we know, all the Futures In titles take place 5 years in the future. At this point, it seems like the Outlaws part of the Red Hood and the Outlaws have dissipated. They're gone. The team is broken up, and Jason Todd is on his own. This is basically a Jason Todd or Red Hood story. Roy Harper does show up in it. I'm not going to give away. Basically, he's on the Justice League now, and 5 years later. But he does show up in the story. There's a confrontation, and I won't give that away. This story is about Red Hood and where he is 5 years from now, and basically he's gone back to his old ways. He is a vigilante once again, killing the guilty. He leaves a calling card, which is a red hood basically draped on the person's face as they're sleeping, and a bat symbol drawn in red paint or blood or whatever, and they have, I think it's 24 hours or 12 hours or something like that to confess to all their crimes or they will die. And basically that's the whole thing. So it's him against mainly one particular person. That's the whole story, and he's narrating how he got to this point throughout this whole issue. And it's just like, this is who I am. And it was an okay story. It was an unnecessary story. It was just one of those, okay, let's see where Red Hood will be in 5 years. And that's pretty much it. It has no direct tie-in, as far as I can tell, to the main story. If you're a Red Hood fan, if you like the Red Hood and the Outlaws title, I think you'll enjoy seeing where he goes. So the writing was decent. The story was okay. It was interesting to see, what became of Jason Todd. And basically see there's nobody really there to stop him or that can at this point. And it was a good narration throughout. It was mostly narration. The dialogue there was pretty good as well. Art-wise, okay. Positives first. The detail work on the buildings and the vehicles and everything, stellar. Really good landscapes, really great vehicles. There's a gunship that we see towards the end that looks really cool. There's a sports car that Jason Todd drives that is on point and everything. It looks great, smooth, classy. Colors by Mike Attia really good as well on those kind of elements in the story. The figure work, for me personally, I didn't care for. When Red Hood was in his hood, in his full outfit, he looked pretty cool. But the facial construction, the hair, and just the overall bodies and everything of Scott Collins' art, I'm not personally a fan of. I'm not saying it's bad. All the basic elements are there of art. I just don't particularly like his style. I think it's kind of reminiscent of a light version of Juan Jose Ript, if you're familiar with him from he does a lot of Avatar work, Avatar press work, and I don't know, it's kind of I don't want to say it's sketchy, but it is kind of sketchy, but it's like it's stylized in a way that there's a, I don't know, it's really hard to describe his art. If you're familiar with Scott Collins' art, you'll know the style that I'm referring to. The hair is just very weird, and the faces and the eyes are very off for me personally. But it's not a bad art job throughout this. I mean, the sequential flow is very nice. Like I said, there's a lot of great detail work in it. But it's just it's an okay book. Okay story, okay art, nothing to really jump out at you. It's nothing that you have to go pick up unless you're just a huge fan of Red Hood and the Outlaws or Red Hood himself. So for me, I'm gonna give this issue a 3 out of 5. So yeah, like I said, if you're a fan of the character, of the title, of the creators, you definitely will probably want to pick it up. If you're not, only if you're completist. or if you just want an okay story to read, if you've got extra money to spend or whatever. That's my personal recommendation. So yeah, it was an okay book. I am a fan of Red Hood and the Outlaws. I'm a fan of Red Hood. So 3 out of 5 for this one. Check out all the other reviews here on Comic Frontline. We are covering all the Futures End titles, and there is a hub over on comicrelated.com as well. So check that out. It has all the reviews linked there, as well as cover images and articles and so forth throughout the event. And just beyond September, as long as the weekly series is going, and even through the Earth 2 stuff, we're covering that in the hub on CR. And yeah, so that's it. Check out all the other videos here. Check out Comic Frontline and comicrelated.com and zone4podcast.com if you like, for all your comic news, reviews, podcasts, and so much more. And until next time, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.